The Untold History of the Ottoman Empire. Secrets of a Forgotten World. For over 600 years, the Ottoman Empire cast its shadow across 3 continents. Its armies clashed with the mightiest of Europe, its scholars debated with the wisest of the East, and its courts echoed with decisions that would shape the future of nations. But what if we told you the real story hasn't been told? Not the version in textbooks, not the one you hear on tours. The truth is stranger, deeper, and far more fascinating. This is the Ottoman Empire as you've never seen it. It didn't begin as a glorious empire. It began with a dream, perhaps just a whisper on the wind. A small, rugged tribe surviving in the wild frontiers of Anatolia. The land was divided, plagued by constant warfare between crumbling Byzantine authorities and feuding Turkic warlords. And yet, Osman I, more a visionary than a warrior, saw an opportunity where others saw only chaos. Osman united rival Turkic tribes, not just by strength, but through bloodlines, kinship, and carefully crafted diplomacy. He married wisely into powerful families. He forged alliances quietly. His leadership wasn't about dominance, it was about survival, unity, and the long game. And while other tribes were consumed by short-term victories, Osman sowed the seeds of something far more enduring. The early Ottomans were not conquerors by modern standards. They were frontiersmen, navigating a cultural borderland between Christianity and Islam, between East and West. They adopted the administrative practices of their Byzantine neighbors, absorbed Persian court traditions, and embraced Arab scholarship. From day one, the Ottomans were never one culture. They were many, stitched together into something new, and behind every rising man was a woman history tried to forget. The harem, a word often misunderstood, wasn't a place of leisure and luxury. It was a center of education, influence, and political strategy. Girls brought in from across the empire were educated in languages, literature, music, and politics. The smartest among them rose through the ranks, not just to serve, but to rule. Hürrem Sultan, born as Roxolana in what is now Ukraine, was captured in war and sold into the palace. But her mind was sharper than steel. She quickly won the favor and the heart of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. She broke centuries of tradition by marrying him legally. She advised him on policy, influenced foreign diplomacy, and helped craft legal reforms. Her letters to European monarchs still exist, diplomatic masterpieces written by a woman history called a concubine. She wasn't alone. Nurbanu Sultan, Kosem Sultan, and others would go on to hold unprecedented influence. Some ruled behind the veil as regents for their sons, others directly engaged in statecraft. In periods of instability, it was women who maintained continuity of rule, and yet how many history books acknowledge them? While Europe basked in its renaissance, the Ottomans were charting the stars. Taqi al-Din, a name few outside Turkey recognize today, was one of the most advanced astronomers of his time. In 1577, he built an observatory in Istanbul rivaling the accuracy and sophistication of any in Europe. He developed mechanical clocks with precision down to the seconds, a marvel for the time. He mapped the skies with incredible accuracy and proposed theories on the nature of light that predated Newton. But politics and fear snuffed out his light. Religious authorities saw his work as heretical. Astrologers feared for their influence. His observatory was shut down, his works hidden. Western science advanced, but the Ottomans' contributions faded into shadows. Yet where science was silenced, intelligence thrived. The Ottomans became masters of espionage, building one of the world's most sophisticated networks of informants and agents. From the halls of the Venetian Republic to the palaces of Safavid Persia, Ottoman spies moved like ghosts. They disguised themselves as merchants, diplomats, even servants. They transmitted letters using invisible ink, sent messages inside hollowed fruits, and bribed their way into the heart of enemy courts. Sultans often knew of enemy plans before they were set in motion. The famed Battle of Lepanto in 1571 may have ended in naval disaster, but not before Ottoman spies warned of European plans. Intelligence allowed them to shift their focus toward land campaigns in the east while stalling European advancement. But even the most powerful empires crumble from within. The Janissaries, elite warriors raised from Christian boys taken through the Devshirme system, were once the backbone of the Ottoman army. Trained from childhood, loyal only to the Sultan, they became one of the world's most feared military units. But power breeds ambition. As the centuries passed, the Janissaries became kingmakers. They assassinated sultans, brokered political deals, and demanded ever more privilege. The empire struggled to modernize. Enlightenment ideas crept in from Europe, inspiring reforms, but also rebellions. Arabs in the south demanded autonomy. Balkan Christians sought independence. Kurdish tribes resisted central rule. The multicultural empire began to strain under the weight of rising nationalism. Then came the Tanzimat era, a bold attempt at rebirth. From 1839 to 1876, the Ottoman state implemented sweeping reforms. Religious minorities were granted equal rights under law. New schools opened. Railways connected distant provinces. Tax codes were revised, and modern courts established. Women began to publish newspapers, campaign for rights, and question their roles in society. But progress met resistance. European powers, seeing a weaker Ottoman state, encouraged separatist movements while carving up influence. Britain and France interfered in internal matters, supporting rebellions that served their interests. Russia sought dominance in the Black Sea. Internally, conservative factions opposed the reforms, fearing the erosion of traditional Islamic governance. By the dawn of the 20th century, the empire stood at a crossroads. The Young Turks, a revolutionary movement, pushed for constitutional rule. In 1908, they succeeded. For the first time, the Ottoman Empire embraced parliamentary democracy, but it was too late. World War I erupted. Alliances forced the Ottomans into a devastating conflict. Arab leaders revolted, encouraged by British promises. The Armenian tragedy unfolded, a dark chapter still debated. As the war ended, victorious powers carved up Ottoman lands. Istanbul was occupied. Anatolia lay in ruins. Yet from the ashes, a new spirit emerged. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk led a war of independence. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was born. The Ottoman Empire, once the terror and pride of three continents, was officially over. Or was it? The empire's legacy is everywhere, from the architecture of Sarajevo to the cuisine of Damascus, from the legal systems of Egypt to the music of Greece. Ottoman influence lingers. The borders drawn after its fall sowed the seeds of modern conflicts. Its multicultural fabric inspired both unity and division, and its story, its full story, is still unfolding. Because empires don't die, they evolve, they echo, they hide in plain sight. The world we live in today, its borders, its conflicts, its cultures, still carries the Ottoman fingerprint. History isn't what happened, it's what survives. And the true story of the Ottoman Empire is finally rising to the surface. Stay curious, because what's buried is often more powerful than what's remembered.